Right. Okay, and then let's have a warm-up activity this morning. Two key areas. We will focus on two areas. What are they? And then the first one is about tech specs, our consolidation work. Number two is where we start talking about technical proposals. Hi, morning. How are you? Good. Busy. Well, but anyway, I mean, my when I think about, the coming weeks, I'm a bit worried. I mean, even though, you guys are going to have a break, right? Reading week is the break, but then I'm planning and thinking about what I can do. Well, I mean, can I do more and help you guys more before you have your holidays? Because after the holidays, I guess everyone gets crazy with lots of assignments, right? Assessment tasks, projects. Yeah. Well, what about your situation? Yes, after the Easter break, crazy time. Are you going to have lots of presentations, tests, quizzes, exams? Yeah, give me some ideas about, I'm not asking you to have a lecture during the reading week, don't worry, but then I'm thinking about whether students will be available to have some sorts of, say, consultation, you will come with your team members and then we can do something about, for example, I may talk with you about your informative presentation performance. I can talk with you about your tech specs and I can, work with you and help you get prepared for the, the next tasks, say the technical proposals as well as your persuasive presentation. Yeah, I'm thinking about, whether everybody gets crazy after the Easter break. Yeah. I'm planning, I'm thinking about, some possibilities, but giving more ideas about your situations. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, that's hi, morning. Come on in. Yeah. Also coming. And then the files. Actually, I have already uploaded some files we need this morning to the Blackboard site. If you can't receive the files with your iPad, I don't mind that you go and have a look of what the files are about on Blackboard and download them because we will use them this morning. Hi. I received some drafts. Okay, your tech specs. I don't know whether you find it very difficult or you just rely on some seniors samples. Anyway, I hope it's not just an assignment spending. Just submit something, just share something with Evelyn and then just get it done without learning a lot. Actually, it's a good learning opportunity for year 3, year 4 students, or say for engineers in the future. Tech specs seems to be part of your life, I guess. You need to get used to it. It's about, setting requirements, sharing your design concepts with your partners, different parties. You can't really get away from it. Get more ideas about use of technical language, and I prepare one simple task for you. Let's see. Just give me a second. I'm sharing the files with you. Okay. This week, this one. Great. Okay. Yep. This one. Okay. Good. I'm sharing the files with you. This one is pretty simple. See whether you are able to complete the instructions. Spend about, say, 5 to, say, hopefully, within 8 minutes, you're able to finish. You got it, right? Yeah. The one you can see the cat. The app, yeah. Technical instructions, yes. Got the files? It works. Grab your copy, but at the same time, try something, about technical reading and technical writing instructions and descriptions, which may help you complete your tech specs. Yes, you got it. Hi. Yes, you can build it. And let me show you what it is like then. Yeah, this one. All right, okay, let me share. Hello, Purr. Cat, kitty, little kitty. There's a pretty simple reading task. This one. Yep, you're with me, right? Got it? Your version. And then some missing parts. Could you help me and complete the descriptions? Yep, some gaps. Please help and see whether you know the suitable words which should be placed. Have a look and see how the descriptions are written. It's nice. It's pretty nicely written, and that's why I share these examples with you. You have the files with you right now? Yep. And could you mind spending, say, 5 minutes scanning, the descriptions and help me and complete this incomplete version of technical descriptions to get the quick revisions about the certain wordings, the flows. And then by the time when you read, you know more about how the descriptions comes to be constructed. That's the first part of the day, technical reading. 5 minutes. Have you got the files? Come on. For the ones who have just come in, if you cannot, receive the files, let me know. Do let me know if you need anything at all. It's a quick revision. You work on your own files, first of all, and then we are going to talk about it pretty soon. Hey, come on, don't share the answers with your further class at this moment. Keep it as confidential, secret. Work on your own. Test yourself. Pretty easy, frankly speaking. It's not difficult, but then you know more about the technical writing style. We will discuss a little bit the features, and so on. Hi, morning. Come on in. Yeah. The files is available on the Blackboard site. For the ones who have just come in, have you received the file? about technical instructions and descriptions. If no, here's the files. Please download it. Okay, yeah, download it and have a look. You're asked to do some clinical reading this morning as a warm-up activity. Wake you up, okay, with words. Got lots of words as well as visuals. See how descriptions got to be, written in a pretty concise manner. Yeah, the use of technical, get more ideas about what technical writing style means. Spend 1 or 2 more minutes reading and completing the descriptions. Hello, where are you? Finished? Yeah, quite a lot. There are totally 5 pages. Oops, sorry. Yes, testing your the use of prepositions, for example, the use of verbs, the use of adverbs. Okay, take a look. Work together. Even though maybe you haven't finished all, then see, and then remind yourself certain crucial, features that you got to think about when you draft your technical specifications, as well as technical proposals in the coming time. Right, okay, let's take a look. The first part, you find, first of all, I hope you still remember when you make use of different visual aids. Don't forget, you have to provide headings like this one, figure 1, Prof 1, the Hello Per app, that's what the app is like. And then I share the descriptions with you, which is right next to the visuals, this one, right? Typical first program, blah, blah, blah. It's pretty nicely written. That's why I share there's examples with you and how you, explain the visual aids that you have, make use of the graphics or sometimes, the charts, the tables. Then you see, what this vector used as shown in figure 1.1 will be Hello Per. It means, don't just tell me, okay, shown in something, and then your explanation still is needed. The first one, the gap, okay, when you talk about apps, the website, HTTP, blah, blah, blah. Here, the preposition in, no, not in, but, and yes, when you talk about website, no, on, that's okay, or, one more, okay, on a particular site, yes, or at, yes, thanks a lot, yes, on or at, yeah, great. Just quick revision, not in, for, of. Sometimes when we talk about prepositions, usually I don't know, but some of my students said, okay, Evelyn, I have no ideas about which is which. I rely on my sixth sense. I don't know whether, you you got the same feelings. I think that yes, to me, yes, it's my gut feelings, but then where the gut feelings from? It's from your language awareness. It's about your reading. It's about your basic, something like the foundations, something that you learn in primary or even when you're a kid. Okay, let's and then the second one, I chose this, okay, to test you because I think, well, the use of adverbs could be important. Precisely, not precisely, no, probably. Nope. It's about stages. You don't really have to use at first, I mean, first of all, no, purely, no, purely through. Which words mean mainly, or initially? Mainly, initially. Yeah, great, good, nice, good try. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, primary. Yeah. So think about sometimes, an adverb is pretty powerful. Show, I mean, the logical flow can be shown without, you don't really have to rely on any connectives, okay, or what we call linking devices. Okay? I hope you agree with me. And then another adverb here, the third one. Adverb. I give you more hints, maybe a bit difficult. TYP. Yeah, typically, right? Typically, right? Yeah, I always encourage my engineering students, come on, your language skills are super, super powerful because not many engineering students are interested in language, frankly. If your language skills, well, you possess strong language skills, either, I mean, what mother tongue, second language, third language is great anyway. More, it's related to one's competitiveness. UE suggests you, easy is a verb. You need a verb here. If you have any thought issues, we suggest you suggest somebody, and then basic verb form, modal verbs. That means, I mean, the verb without, any, you don't really have to use a present participle ing form. No, nothing. Get started, simple. Get started using the Android illuminator that comes packaged with the app Inventor download. Let's take a look at the second part. The app Inventor programming environment has 3 key parts. Remember here at the very beginning here, you find the description. Good. Yes, exactly. Thanks. Good. Why I chose that one, and as an example, I want to show you, you don't really have to use as shown all the time. You might use different expressions or shown, right, in figure 1.2. Shown, okay, and what about positioning here? Top position again. Very clear, just like on or at a particular site. And what about here? Yeah, on the left. And then let's move on. This is about the first designer. What about the blocks editors? You need a verb here. I give you a tip. It starts with letter R. In a window separate from the component designers. Runs, yes, good, great. And then let's move on. Here, the inventor spies. I mean, just have some quick revisions about, I mean, certain by the site here. You need to browsing, right? The verbs. Browsing to a particular site, browsing to, if in your technical specifications, you might provide us with scenarios hypothesis. If that's the case, then what may happen then? Give us some ideas about it. You will see the products page. There's one, which, yes, I want to remind you when you draft your technical specifications, how ideas can be linked. Please make good use of relative clauses so as to write in a more concise manner. To create a project, the verb is, you need to click. Yes, click it. Click something. New at the bottom, you should know, right? At the top, at the bottom. The first window that, you got it? Start with letter O. What's it? Opens. Yeah. Yeah. And then when you described your, the SRS, the steps, the procedures, think about the use of specific verbs, preciseness, conciseness, direct, to the point. This is a very good example. When it appears, click, open, block editors in the menu. So the use of preposition in the menu, and then at the top right. Again, so preciseness, positioning, clear instructions can be given. The block directors. So you got verbs like opens, and what about this? You need another verb. Start with letter C, not can, not cannot. Closer, no. Comes up. So you don't have to see appears, comes up. The separate window, aided by a tool, blah, blah, blah. And then this process, usually you need the verbs again. We're now testing you the use of precise verbs. Good. Yeah. Thanks. Okay, and then can you guess? But how do you describe this whole picture, the process? Here you need another, a verb here. Start with letter I, quite easy. Yeah. Hypothesis. Yeah. The block editor will appear and you will see future, right? But then this is not about requirements. That's why we don't use shall, remember? Yeah, that's nice. As shown. Good. Nice. Perfect. What about the descriptions, huh? Figure 1.3, plug a phone, plug into, better. To or into, yes. Your computer and click, blah, blah, blah. Then click, blah, blah, blah. If you have an Android phone and a USB cable, plug the phone again, remember, into or to. If another condition, then if, so condition 1, condition 2. If, and then this word. What about this? If you want to test the apps, you an alternative instead. If instead you want to test your app, test the apps, you build, right? The verb, collocation, build the app using an click, blah, blah, blah. When it's fully, adjectives. It's working, that means fully. Good. Sorry. Yeah. All is well. We build the setup instructions, and then don't forget the site. Okay, on or at, right? The site, just remind you. And here, well, designing the components, the first tool you will use is blah, blah, blah. Components are the elements you combine to create apps like analogy, such as it's like ingredients in a recipe. Analogy may be used. Components are very simple, like a label component, which shows text on the screen, or button component. But the blinking word. This one, again, which shows something, and then which you take again. The accelerometers, a motor sensor that works. Again, how can you explain your idea to your reader more clearly? Like, yeah. So think about, well, how you are helping your reader. Don't forget, it's crucial as a good technical communicator. You think about something, oh, maybe, okay, they are uncertain, then it's time for you to explain a little bit more. Open the designer, it will. So when you want to illustrate what's going to be shown, just like this, it will appear. Yeah, very good. As shown in, don't forget, okay, proposition figure 1.4. Great. So here's the figure. And then you move on and explain towards the center. So talking from the center here is a white area. Anyone? Past participle. I give you one more letters, maybe it will be easier. CA. Any guess? Toward the center is a white area called or named, right? You want to give, each thing a very clear title. This is WH word. Which one? This is where, yeah. You place components, blah, 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 arrange them to preposition. Don't you know? Map. It's like creating something too. That's a preposition. Map out, mapped out, mapped out. The viewer shows only a rough indication of how it will look. So make good use of different WH words to illustrate your point, to see how, again, your app will really appear. You will need to do this or that. Here, to the left, then you show direction. Not at the left, no, or on the left, to the left of the wheel is the blah, blah, blah. It tells this. Then you explain it, it's divided into sections at this point. You can see components in other sections by can you guess? You give instructions by doing something by clicking, right? And here, then we move on to the next one. Again, to the right, to the left, PO. Or, and then here, the preposition to the right, and under the component list is an area. Yes, let's join together. This project doesn't have any media yet, but you will be adding some soon. What about, again, giving direction? Come on. We need a preposition here. Was it? On is at the far, right? Could be at the far right is a section that shows or show our section showing blah blah blah, which include, again, you need the linking word, which include this and that. Your language will help a lot. When I read your textbooks, language skills will be counted, will be evaluated. When I take a look of your technical proposals later, each team members' writing will be evaluated individually. That's why you have to let me know which part is written by, a particular or some particular team members. List everything clearly. No free riders is allowed, I would say. I would emphasize. Let me know if there are any free riders. You also need non-visible sound components that knows how. Yeah, that's nice. Good. How? Oops. Yes. How to produce sound. Detecting. You need a preposition. No, not preposition. Sorry, it's another WH word. When. Yeah, when for. When the components finally. Oops. Go to. Very simple. Go to. Click something and then giving instructions. You need a verb here. Yeah, great, good. Yeah, clear instructions, good use of specific verbs, and then appear on the viewer, not in the viewer, on the viewer. And finally, not only that, and then you can, find it with the words text label one. Look at the property box, blah, blah, blah. There's a property called text about halfway down. Again, with a box for the text, for the label's text. Change the background color of the label. That should be space in here by clicking the box, which currently reads none. To select the color, blah blah blah. Change the text color. Should be same here. Actually, it should be here. You can take a look at this. Right here, the background color. That's why. Okay, it's like this. If you have a look at the visuals. Come on. Yeah. There we go. Yeah. Finish the last part. Drag it. Yeah, the background colors. Which currently that's, and then finally here, change. Yeah. This is the last one, 1.5. You want to remind your reader, that means just ensure, be sure you have your phone connected and the blocks editors open. It's a little bit different. Excuse me. It's a little bit different when if you write instructions, you might just say connect your phone, blah blah blah, and then open something, and then you use verbs at the beginning. What about this? This way, that way, that way. you can see right away. We need a WH word. Again, how your app it will look. This is called live testing. It also you need the verb family here, start with letter A. Applies to behavior. I love this word. It's about, well, that means it's related to, so it applies to the behavior you create, blah, blah, blah. Not yet finished, but then I just show you part of it. I love this set of technical documents, and I find it good examples for my students to learn how to write in a pretty concise manner. Great, okay, it's a warm-up, good. Now let's move on to another consolidation activity. I'm showing you my slides. Seconds. You may call it as a test, okay? A short quiz. Are you ready? Testing your understanding of text specs, how much you still remember, what each component is like. And oops. All right. Okay. Now you're with me. My slides here. Let me show you the full picture. Okay, better. As I said, we are now okay. Thanks so much for your for active participation. Love it. Let's try to answer the questions that I'm asking you now about text specs, about the structure, the key components, and then we will move on to the language features of it. Ready? I have to wait for your answers. Where can we find these words in our text specs? Can you guess? Which section? Or say, let's put it this way, if Evelyn asked you to provide this short paragraph with a heading, what's the headings like? What's the headings? Thanks. Okay, lovely. Let me take a look. Okay, give me a second because I can't read your answers. Introduction. Yeah. Testing you. Yes, exactly. Good. Yes, introduction. Yes. Easy, right? Okay, so let's move on. Intro. Next. Different designs, okay? Different products. I try to use different examples to illustrate this point. Not the same products. That's why you find, oh, it's a bit strange. Anyway, where can you find this? Which section again? Let's just remember which section. What is this, short paragraphs about? You may refer to the template intro. Could use a yes, correct, but then could you section 1, yes, correct, but then could you use a more specific heading? Purpose? Not really. We don't have a sections headings named as purpose. Pretty close. General descriptions, no. No, wrong. Then I can say, wow. Then I can anticipate, whether you're able to write your text specs appropriately. You don't know what sort of information has got to be put, in a particular part. The intro of the intro. Okay. I look forward to, finding this heading in your team's text specs, intro of the intro. Not really. No, sorry. It's about the intended audience, right? Intended audience. So who are you writing for? Well, who will read this specifications? What's the specs for them? For a particular group of people, remember, you got to set the scope and think about, say, number one, this technical specs, the purpose, right? Writing purpose. In this section, introduction, you may talk about, okay, like what this team of students did. Or say you might think about, okay, well, basically, who is going to use this products that you might remember with intended users. You might include, say, the elderly, or just like some teams talk about deaf, okay, or well, the disabled or the elderly. Yes, these products for them, a particular group of users, and then, well, how this set of documents will be used, like for course evaluation, preparation, productions, marketing. I don't know, but then please state everything clearly. Good. Okay, so got it. Okay, you need to tell the reader, well, the intended audience. Yeah, you, for example, who are you? What about this one? Give this paragraph a heading, please. I hope you still remember general description. Great. Yes. Yeah. You need to describe what this product is in general. Yeah. So usually we use our relative clause to help us. Your product, which blah, 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 is blah, blah, blah. A very clear statement, a clear sentence, but then it covers the main, say, okay, the main features of your products, and then that's the key features. That's very good. Clear. Yeah, got it. Right. General description, not design, no, general description. Give us an overview of, what your product is about at the very beginning. That's what the general descriptions covers. Please bear in mind. Yeah, so which is which. Again, you might refer to this. If you forgot, let me show you what I'm talking about. The template when you talk about hardware product tech specs in general, not SRS, no, but show this. Then you find it much easier for you too. Yeah, this one. This one. It's on the Blackboard site that I shared with you before, right? Your introduction, you talk about the positions, problem possibilities, scope of work, right? Intended audience, project scope, general description, yes, general descriptions, you talk about this well, and you move on and talk. So general descriptions and overview, and then you move on and talk about the design, structure, mechanisms, functions, and usage. As what I explained here, basically you have to cover, for example, say 2.1 and 2.2, the basic working principle of your products, given an overview of its operations. So what you might include, say, perspective, components, materials, working mechanisms, not the technical, not the 2 columns forms, but then give us an overview, the general descriptions. Yes, of it. Yeah, good. Let's move on. But feel free to ask questions, okay, if you have any. As I said, this set of materials is used as our consolidation work. Nice. And I hope you find it easy for you to follow. But then follow-up questions would be great. Okay, like this one. What about this one? If you rely on some online resources, please do cite, just like what this team did, cite everything appropriately. This is the first source, not randomly, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the first source that the team used. That's why SCHOLAR and CAT 1, I hope you still remember, IEEE referencing systems. The resources online for self-learning. Yes, so what about the heading of this section? Design features. General description, still, in this CAT, right? In this section, main section. Yes, the design of it, yeah. Basic design, yes. Design. General descriptions, design of it. What about this? Where can you find this paragraph, for example? Where can you find it? Yeah. Better, yeah, but don't forget, yes, you may talk about it in part by part descriptions. Again, give us an overview first about, what's the whole product includes, the components, how many, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you move on and explain part component 2, component 3, component 4, part by general descriptions, and then you move on, and then under, the big heading, you move on and talk about, every single part by part descriptions. What about this? Part by part description, and then every single part got to be clearly explained like this one. So first of all, where? So use WH words to guide you when you draft, say the descriptions. Where? Located. What is it? Made up of a theme, battery. Functions to do this. Provides details. Advantage. Did you find it relevant? Yeah, descriptions, yes. Part by part descriptions. Correct, yes, you're right. Got it. So try to be more sensitive. And then you have some quick thinking. Think about, okay, which is which. Then it's much easier for you to understand the overall picture of your text works, what each part is about, why, and you see the logical flow. And that's why I encourage you to ask questions if you don't understand anything, the logical flow, for example, or any things I showed you. Yes, part by part description. Say this one. Mm. Still part by part, still in the part by part description, you described every single component like this, supported by the base and what the base is like. 5 wheels. Okay. Don't just show us the, the visuals, the design without any explanation. No, you need to explain what this figures illustrates. Use your own words. Mm. After using some words to describe the product, you have to provide us with the technical details. So here, moved on to the next part, is about the technical requirements. Similar to what we have read, say the SRS, the requirements. That means, as an engineer, well, you think certain requirements got to be met in order to produce your product, in order to get it done. Then you have to state your requirements clearly. This is the technical requirements part. Tech specs for the main unit. So basically, again, from general to specific, overall, the whole product, with the dimension, the weight, the materials, and maybe, some other details, but then it depends. Well, this is the outer part, right? Outer physical appearance. But then what about others? And you have to describe everything in detail and using, you have to use 2 columns style to describe it in order to maintain clarity and conciseness. Yeah. What about this? Which sections should the information be put in, be placed in? Which section? General descriptions or part by part description? Yeah, general, correct. General description about the functions. Mm. Yeah, function, yes, under general descriptions. You move on and talk about, remember the design, features, functions. Yeah, correct. What about this? About battery? Where should you talk about the battery? Which section? When should you talk about it? Which sections should the information be shown? Mm. This is about the technical requirements again. Technical requirements. Yeah, the tech specs, you may say, well, exactly the specifications. After describing, giving us an overall picture, overall descriptions, general description, that means general descriptions, part by part descriptions, and then you move on and tell us the technical requirements, well, with the help of 2 column style. What about this? These lines, what's the information about? Yeah. Yeah. Yes, directions, or say directions of use. Yeah, good. Yeah. This is what about this sort of information? What's the information about? Safety information. Yeah, safety information, precautions. Yes. Please design the heading of this. Okay, for this section. Yes, good. Testing. Good. How to test your products. 8.1, 8.2, 8.2.1, 8.2.2. So all these lines are about precautions, I was said, well, or general recommendations, different names, but then actually serving the same product, like what you guys said, warning, yeah, safety tips. Troubleshooting, yes, that's right, good, nice. So, I mean, some quick revision of the key components, you may say, the key components of your tech specs. Then I hope, well, after, I mean, reading if your team members and you have a look of where was it? Yes, that's one. Say the template, for example. Oh, can then, Evelyn, I have no ideas about which is which or what should be, well, include did in 3.1, for example, technical specifications of the main unit, what's this about? Please, okay, well, refer to what I've just introduced or say just walk you through as a quick revision of what each component is about. Say installation, they got it right, okay, or and then testing part, mechanisms, so on and so forth. Anyway, yeah. So you got the general descriptions, don't forget, general descriptions, part by part descriptions, everything is clearly defined. Follow-up questions? Yes, no? If no, we move on to the last part of our consolidation work. Let me share a files, some files with you, two files maybe, for our analysis. Then we will again have a break. After the break, let's have some quick recap or analysis. Here, the first one is about a set of instructions about LAMP installation. Another file, authentic materials. We take a look at some authentic materials, and then I hope we are able to have some discussion. Yes. Okay, another one is what we called that side recycle bin. Yeah. Have a look of these two sets of materials, technical, well, I mean, documents. We focus on language features this time, language features. Have a break and have a break. back by 14. Hey, welcome back. Hello, welcome back. Have you spent some time reading the two texts that I shared with you before the break? This is the first one. One of them is about recycling, right? Have a quick look. Just scanned, this technical document and make some comments on it. Just 2 pages, pretty simple. What do you think about this technical document, the design? Do you love it? Or say, well, something good, or say room for improvement? I would like to listen to your comments. Yeah, have a look at it. But is it easy for you to guess? Yeah. Any other comments on maybe the first one, this one, the bin? What do you think about the descriptions, the language? Something good, or yeah, something you think might be improved? If you have a look at the specs, yeah, specifications, the use of visuals, the illustrations, any comments? Is sufficient information provided? Dimensions of the recycling bin? I think yes, right? At the bottom here, we got it, right? What do you mean here? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Good or bad? Different font size. Mm-hmm. The same kinds of, I can't really get it. They share the same kinds of title. Why don't they? They do share the same kind of titles, specifications, their main colors, stock colors. I think quite standardized, right? Maybe you might clarify a little bit. Mm-hmm. Because I can't really get your question. What your question is?
Nah, the thing is, why the recycling bin only has the dimension for the basket? It seems to have body dimensions and lid dimensions. Don't you think it's kind of weird that it should be only mentioned the dimension once in the recycling bin side?
What you mean is some missing information concerning the blue one, the recycling bin.
Well, I think if you really want to share the details of this component, you should have either the similar or equal texture or even the format, not just saying dimensions. You see, in the waste basket, it even mentioned the body dimensions and the lid dimensions, but it doesn't happen on the recycling bin
Oh,
side.
I see what you mean. I see what you mean. Okay. Don't you know why?
Yeah, kind of curious.
I think, well, number one, do we have think, well, the blue one doesn't contain any lid at all, right? So, well, I guess, well, that explains what sorts of information's got to be included and what sorts of information might not be found. When you have a look of these two columns, okay, two sections, I guess, well, yeah, I believe, okay, the blue one doesn't got any lid at all. That's why, I guess, well, when you have a look of the dimensions, I guess, well, it's when you have a look of the waste basket, there are two parts, right? The lid and the body. Then, of course, everything got to be stated clearly. And that's what, you engineer, and then, every student, say in the future, when you draft your technical specs, you got to think carefully about the components. Otherwise, the production team members might come to you and ask, oh, what about this? What about that? And then they cannot help you design, or make the final decisions. You need to state. That's why we talk about the keywords is about requirements. You need to state your requirements clearly. Yeah, I guess, well, that's one of the keys. I'm not sure whether, well, please feel free to ask any follow-up question if the clarifications might not be the one that you expect. But then that's how I interpret it. Yes, the lid or lid dimensions, body dimensions, well, it's something that can be found on the visual slide. Yeah, and then what about the lamp? Another one, the language features. You might find very simple, direct descriptions, no daunting stuff. Clarity can be maintained. And if you have a look on, let me show you the one about the lamp. This one, yes, it's about the different instructions again. Yeah, this one, another example. Installation, the steps. You find the use of different nooks. My concern is some students ask when I discussed and analyzed this text with some students. I remember some feedbacks like it seems to be a bit confusing because several steps have been combined and shown in one single section. Yeah, you guys might also share your views after taking a look of the instructions. See whether you find the instructions are easy to follow or not. So this is the overall steps. So you find this as well. It's about the parts, right? The printing part. This is about the instructions. The descriptions and the steps. But one key feature is quite, I think, well, it's quite easy for us to identify. That is the use of strong action verbs, concise sentences or phrases. But what do you think about the instructions? Are they written clearly to you? Yeah. I think it's good for us to, to analyze different kinds of texts so as to understand what's the meaning of, reader-friendly approach. It doesn't mean all authentic texts are nice. Sometimes we come across good examples. Sometimes we fake something good, not pretty clear, just like this one. Yeah. But I think it's good for us to be reminded, or we can reflect our own descriptions when we describe our product. Yeah. So I think, I will discuss with each team when I have a look of your first draft. Say, if you think, for example, this piece of information is not clearly presented, good, then I look forward to your suggestions, or say, when you work on your own descriptions, your instructions, do pay special attention to get away from the problematic situations that you found here. Yeah. So I personally believe it's a bit confusing. Yeah, not nicely written. And I guess the writer could pay more attention to the significance of clarity. Yeah, but let's go back to the language features. And remind this, yeah. Yep. So language features. Just a kind reminder, but then, as I said, please do bear in mind that we have already talked about technical writing style before introducing technical instructions to everybody. Imperatives, the use of verbs, right? When you describe the steps, the procedures, use appropriate patterns to maintain clarity and conciseness, just like what we discussed. Why this is not clearly written? No. Ambiguous passive verbs. Any comments? Take a look at this example. Evelyn said it's not nicely written. Don't you know why? Not clearly written. Confusion. Think about your own version. If you were asked to revise this, what would you do? What your versions will be, or would be like. should be removed, can be flooded. Two different ways. Or actually, what's the warnings like? The instructions not clearly. Yeah. So, yes. Yeah, good suggestion. Yes. Yes. Drain the tank in one of the following ways, 1 and 2. That's it. Or, so you provide two statements here and give your reader a warning. If you failed, you may flood the storage compartments. That's it. Yeah, so clarity. All right, so that's some kind reminders concerning your language, and I hope you will spend more time thinking about how your documents could be, revised, and so as to maintain, to achieve certain goals. So that questions, let's see. And I will go and introduce the something on our Blackboard site first, maybe. Yeah, for maybe you haven't got the time to have a look for it. Not this one. Okay, and then. Yep. Great. All right. So if you have a look of our site, you may find week 10 to being focuses, text writing consolidation work, the files that I've shared with you, yeah, as well as the technical proposals writing. So we will move on and talk about technical proposals. And this is pretty important. Let's take a look. Okay. You're with me, right? Yeah, so that's what we are working on next after finishing the text specs. The 12-page proposals, technical proposals, got to include a number of components, executive summary, the introduction, background info, your intended users' profile, their needs. What about the market at this moment, main competitors? Then you move on and describe your product, the product description. And can you guess, when you draft your technical proposals, what should be included in this part? Do you have to create something new? No, just like what I said here, it's a shorter version of your text specs. Basically, you summarize the info and provide us with the persuasive elements in particular for non-expert audience members. Here, then you move on and show us your development plan and conclusions. It's not business proposals like. So that's what your team's got to do next. That's the final, the last assignment. You guys got to complete. That's why I showed you here. And what we are going to do next would be technical proposals, writing input, and practice. One more thing. If you have a look of our materials using class folder, the 4 text specs, you got info for the resources for hardware products as well as SRS, software requirement specifications. When you do something about referencing, don't forget you need to rely on some self-learning stuff. The referencing guide, I find this is pretty useful for IEEE tables and figures. This is pretty good. me show it to you. Let's see. IEEE. Yeah, this one. Let's share this one. Yeah, this one. Say how you cite tables, figures, your references. Yeah, so you find the headings above the table 1, and then the headings. Wow, for figures. Figure title is placed under the figure. And you got figure 1, for example, and the title of this particular figure. Don't, forget the details or say the requirements. If you've got any questions about referencing skills, please don't hesitate. Just send me an email and ask, because we are not covering in our lectures. No. But I think it's pretty crucial. Still, you got to cite everything carefully. Yeah. And text specs got to be submitted through VeryGuide. So next, and what's next? That's our slides again. So here is the, yeah. And by the way, I hope I'm able to, to have a look of your first draft sometime this week. The assignments folder is ready. Just upload, each team, please upload just one copy, and that's enough to the site. Once I receive it, I'm able to make comments on your drafts so as to help you finalize everything. But so far, have you encountered any difficulties concerning your text specs writing? If yes, please do ask. Oh, okay. Yeah, but then I hope if I miss anything, do make good use of the resources online. Say this one, the folder, text specs for hardware products include. I share the student samples. Take a look. The student samples. Materials we went through in class, the template, the guidelines. If you need anything, yeah, just let me know. Okay, so I hope it's good enough. Then what I can show you video clips, which give you some ideas about our proposals. Works. I hope it works. Yes, there we go. Okay. Oops.
I am Wang Jiaxuan from ELTU 1000.
Oh, no. Yes. This one, video. I'll show this. I hope I can show you and then see if it works out. Sorry. Oh, cancel some difficulties. Because I want to show you the videos that I. Oh, my goodness. Don't know why it cannot be shown to you. It doesn't work at all. Oh, maybe I have to show it to you next time. All right, this is another. Then we move on and talk about. But please, okay, please do read the technical proposals guidelines first of all, and then we will move on to that particular module 6 lessons. I think, well, this morning we focus on the tech specs, features, key components, and then we did some quick revision. And I hope you find the kind reminders useful when you work with your partners or when you work on your own sections. But do let me know if you have any questions or you would like to get more ideas about citations, about using different sources and so on. I'll let you go. We will see each other this Thursday. Again, thanks so much for your active participation.